Hey gamers, this is Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire, and today I want to show you how to solo Obsession, Pride, Intrigue, and Prejudice in Victorian England. This game is designed by Dan Hallagan, and it has a very interesting solo mode, especially for a Euro-style game. So here's an overall setup of a game of Obsession. So we'll talk about these cards in just a second, but I'm going to give you a little tour of what we're working with so that you can see where I'm going throughout the game. So this is my personal player board. I've chosen to play the Ponsonby family, and we start with a bonus of £300, which is good because in this game you're going to be short of money a lot. Our reputation is at 1. As our reputation increases, this will flip. We'll get to add more tokens, so we'll try to level up our reputation. And then here's my available service. So I have some servants in the house that can be used to help me host events at these rooms on my country estate, which I'm going to be adding to, I'm going to be improving. Basically, the premise of this game is that I represent a family that's been a little bit down on its luck, but things are starting to look a little bit better. So I'm starting to put more money into the old family home. I'm starting to try to rebuild my family's prestige and really try to bring us back into the limelight as an important family here in England. So this is the main board where stuff happens. So this is the market for improvement tiles, which we'll encounter many times. Here are the objective cards. So basically, before a game of Obsession starts, you get to pick between some objectives in order to look for some extra victory point scoring options. So we're going to do that now. So basically, we're going to pick 5 objective cards, and we get to keep 2 of them. All right, so what we have is, so I have a servant bonus. I have a 3 VP per monument bonus, but in the 2-player game, which is how this is set up, there's only 2 monuments. I mean, there's only 3 monuments total in the bag, so I'll have to think about that. They may or may not come out. For the Essentials bonus, I can get 1 VP per tile in the Essentials section if I decide to build that up. I can get another Servant bonus for having 10 or more servants for 7 VP. Or I can try to get a group bonus. So here's what I think I might do, actually. I don't know if this will work out, but I think because these kind of work together, I'm going to keep the Servant bonus to try to get 3 valets, and the servant bonus to try to get 10 or more servants total. Having servants is useful, and also because those goals kind of work together, it may benefit me if I see a chance later. At the same time, I'm kind of putting my eggs in one basket, and if I don't get the improvement tiles and opportunities that I need, it won't work out. Speaking of servants, here are the ones who are available for hire throughout the game. Here's our money supply, which I'll be looking at longingly pretty often. And these are stacks of guest cards. So these are casual guests. They come and stay at our estate. They help us put on fancy events. Some of them have some negative effects, so we'll see a variety of stuff come out of this pile. These are the prestige guests. They're very fancy, but I need to get my reputation up before I can even hope to entertain such esteemed personages. And then finally, I'll bring it in so you can see it and then leave it off to the side most of the game. Here's our round tracker. And there's 16 rounds in a standard game. If you flip it over, there's like a 20 round long version on the back. Here are little VP cards that we can get as rewards. Here are theme cards, which will be important during the courtship rounds. And why is courtship important, do you ask? Because not only is my family trying to rebuild the estate to become a little fancier than we used to be, we would like to marry into our family one of these charming Fairchild children. We have Miss Elizabeth Fairchild, the stunning and elegant niece of Margaret Fairchild, who is an accomplished musician. We also have Charles Fairchild Esquire, the nephew and dashing heir of the Fairchild fortune, who is the most desirable bachelor in Derbyshire. So basically, we are trying not only to build ourselves up, but we're trying to impress these hot young people so that one of them will marry one of the children in our family. So it's kind of ridiculous and it's really, really fun. So basically every 4 rounds, we will have a courtship. And so there's different ways to draw these theme cards, but basically when we have a courtship, I don't know what these cards are. We'll draw it at the courtship round to see what they were interested in the most and what will impress them the most. And for every courtship round we win, we get closer to marrying one of them into our family because they're impressed with us. You can also play where the theme cards are revealed at the beginning of the round, or you can play a variant where they're revealed randomly at some point before the courtship, but you don't know when. So there's a number of ways to play it depending on how much randomness and guessing you like in your game. I kind of like keeping the theme cards hidden because I like to imagine that we're trying to anticipate what they might like and maybe being a little bit pompous and embarrassing while we do it, because that's the story I tell myself when I play this game. The last thing I want to show you before we begin playing, and I don't know how much of this game we're going to play because it can take a while. We'll see how quickly this moves. But I also want to show you these solitaire cards. So there's a builder's market AI that interferes with the building tiles. And there are a number of different family cards that are available for you to test your mettle against different solo opponents. So they'll have different number scores at each courtship. So by the final season, these people are really kicking it in the prestige area. And they're the Brunswick family. They're considered expert. There's different levels of AI. So basically, I'm gonna need to beat 112 victory points plus whatever bonuses the Brunswick family incidentally gets from winning courtships, etc. throughout the game. So I have my work cut out for me, and I really like that there is a variety of solo challenge in this game. The other thing that's interesting is that this builder's market AI, basically we're gonna roll a die and see what tile that other rival family is going to purchase from the market each turn. So rather than trust that a tile is still gonna be available to me on the market, I'm gonna have to be really careful and hope that these guys don't take something from me that I really wanted before I could afford it. So now it's time to walk you guys through a turn. The first thing you do on any turn is rotate service, which we won't really have to do this turn because all of our servants are available. But basically, when you use a servant to help arrange an event, they go into expended service. At the beginning of the next turn, they go to the servants' quarters where they have to kind of refresh themselves and regroup for more servant action, and then they come back into available service on the following turn. So it's totally possible to kind of run out of servants and have a hard time getting things done because of that. So you definitely want to keep an eye on that and make sure that you're pacing your servants' refreshment times in a way that's going to work for you. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to choose an event to host. So in order to kind of get the ball rolling with our family, we need to host events on our estate. So what I think I might do actually is, if you look at this round tracker, the village fair is happening in round 3. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do village fair planning, because when the village fair comes around, if you've planned for it, future village fairs produce 300 pounds and 2 reputation. However, the tile's not flipped yet. So it's gonna be, once I host an event on this tile, I'm going to be able to flip it and consider the tile improved. So that's something that I'd like to do. Note, however, that this game is very thematic, because if I don't do anything with the village fair, that's worth 3 points at the end of the game. Whereas if I've planned for the village fair, I don't get any points for this tile. That's because, well, my family should be a little too good to be mixing with those hoi polloi, but we need money, so we're gonna do that thing. So now that I've decided to host this event, I'm going to officially start to plan it. And I'm gonna need to invite guests. So in this case, what this tile is telling me is that I need to invite 2 family to this event. So I have a hand of cards, and the ones with this little crest in the top left, these are family. And you also start the game with 2 casual friends, basically. Like, these are people who hang out at our estate and come to our parties and basically help the family out. So there's some starter guests that you get to begin with. So mine are the Lady Mary Russell, who is stunning and refined. And I also have Reginald Hopkins Esquire, who is one day destined for the church, but until then, he hunts. So we may be hosting some sporting events in the near future. So these guys are automatically out of the running for right now. I'm gonna need to use some family. The good thing about family, however, is that they don't require any extra service, which is good because the village fair is gonna take my butler for the next round. So let's see, what family should I play? I need to both increase my reputation and get some money. So let's think about this. Okay, so I definitely want to play Theodore, Earl of Ponsonby, because he's gonna get me $200 when I play him. Well, 200 pounds, sorry. So I definitely want to play him to this event. And then who else do I want to play? So the Countess of Ponsonby, she's got some cool abilities, but she can let me draw new cards for new guests. she can also dismiss a guest. So at some point during the game, I'm gonna wanna use her ability possibly to get rid of, I don't know, an annoying American heiress or somebody who's gonna just kind of hurt my family's reputation in the end. Like, it was cool having you around, but you know, we can't officially be friends. I can also go for Edward, the Viscount Dorchester, who will give me some money or reputation. Or I can bring Lady Margaret, and what she would do, she can either give me a card draw, or if I eventually put her at an event with a prestige guest, my reputation goes up because it's like, oh, your daughter was very attractive to a fine and handsome young man. Clearly your family is going to go up in our esteem because your daughter's hot, which makes perfect sense in Victorian England, I suppose. So let's figure out who we're gonna take. You know what, we're just gonna have a greedy money turn, and we're gonna send Edward to help his dad out. And then these family will stay in our hand. So what's gonna happen now is that we're gonna have our little event. We've invited our guests, we've put our under butler out there, so the guys in the family have gotten together, they're planning for the village fair. So once you've done that, you host the activity, you invite guests, you provide service, which we just did. In fact, I did that early. And then you do what's called enjoying favors. And what that means is that all the benefits from the cards you take. So I'm gonna take 200 pounds because that's the favor of this father of the family. He's gonna collect some rent. And then for Edward, I can choose to either get 100 pounds or 1 reputation. So I think at this particular moment, I'm gonna grab this 100 pounds. I'm gonna need some reputation soon, but I have just a little bit longer before it's super desperate. So there are no improvements from this tile, but other ones do have benefits that will be showing off on future turns. So now we've done this, my expended service, my butler's gonna go here. This tile's gonna flip to the side that has a rose in the upper right corner because we've improved it. So once you've improved it, you flip it one time and you never flip it back. And now at the future village fair that's coming up, actually there's a couple of them, I'm gonna get some money and some increase to my reputation. So I think that this was time well spent. And now these cards are actually gonna go into my discard pile. They do not go back into my hand. So what that means is that eventually I'm gonna get a little bit low on family members and I'm going to have to pass and basically skip my turn, but maybe get my cards back and perform a special action in order to keep going. So I wanna put that moment off for as long as possible so I can keep my momentum in the game. So these guys are going off to the side. And now I get to buy off of the market. So sadly, the butler's pantry is expensive. I'm gonna have to pay more than I really want to for it. But I'm going to get it because there's only one under butler in the entire game. And if the AI grabs it from me right now, I'm not gonna get it. So I'm going to go ahead and spend an epic amount of money, which sucks, but I have to get this butler's pantry. So basically when I get it, I gain an under butler who may perform any male service role. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my under butler who can do any male service role, which is great because basically every time I'm short a servant, I have like somebody who does, he's like basically a wild. When you buy a tile off the market, basically what you do is you push all the remaining tiles to the left. So as you can see, everything just got a little bit cheaper. And then you draw another tile from this lovely bag and you place it in that open spot. So this one's a little fancy for my taste. An English garden. So see, part of the problem is that see these little numbers in the bottom left corner? Those are reputation numbers. So basically you could get these improvements for your home, but see how I'm at a reputation 1 right now? If I bought something that was a reputation 2, I couldn't do anything with it until my rep actually went up. So that's something to be concerned about. So now we're gonna have the AI turn, and all that consists of, which I'm really grateful for, is a roll of the dice. So we're gonna roll this D20 and see what we get. All right, so we rolled a 3. That was a 3. And according to this, if you roll a 1 through 4, the AI is gonna purchase the item in position 1. If there's a monument, things change. The AI is designed to prioritize monuments when they come out because they're high scoring items. But for now, the breakfast room has disappeared. It's just gonna get discarded. And then all of these will slide down. And then I'm going to be able to draw another tile from the bag and put that out on the market in the most expensive spot. So in this case, we got the North Dining Room where we can have a formal dinner. And that's it. Now we're on to turn 2. So it's up to me again. So I need to decide. First I have to rotate service. It's the first thing I should do. So I expended my butler last time. He's gonna come into the servants' quarters. He's gonna be ready to rock again next turn. But I have an under butler who can do any job, which is pretty great. All right, so let's have a look at what I need to do this turn. So I've already handled this service bit and I prepared for the fair. I can go ahead and use my butler to hire 2 servants from the supply because I am going for these bonuses, but I don't think that's what I want to do this turn. Let's see. I have some options. So I can try to have afternoon tea in the main gazebo, which will let me draw some cards, which should be good. It actually lets me get a very fancy prestige guest. Or I can have a game of whist in the front parlor with 2 ladies, which I actually think might be a good idea because I want to work on my reputation a little bit. The other option is we can get 300 pounds by going to the bowling green and having a couple of gentry do some sporting. The other thing to notice is that I'm gonna want to improve all of these at some point because they're currently worth negative victory points, but they become positive once I've used them and done something with them. So it is important to work on that. So actually, I'm still thinking about money a lot right now. Why don't we send a couple of gentry to the bowling green? I think that's a great idea. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and decide that we're having this sporting event at the bowling green. So we're gonna go bowling and I'm gonna need to invite some guests. So I can invite my friends this time. It doesn't have to be family members. So let's bring Reginald Hopkins because he needs to do a little bit of sporting before he makes his vows to the Lord. And then let's do the stunning and refined Lady Mary because she gives us both a reputation and 100 pounds. And she's pretty awesome. And she has a fantastic hat. So we're definitely inviting her to go bowling. So basically we're gonna send our friends in our stead to go and do a little sporting for us. And now that we've chosen who we're going to invite, we have to provide service. The first kind of service we have to provide is the kind that's shown on the tile. So I know that our footman is gonna need to go and provide service because somebody's gotta carry around all the bowling balls and pins and stuff. It's not gonna be our friends. And then our friend Mary, Lady Mary Russell, is also going to need service. She's gonna wanna bring a lady's maid with her, so this purple one, and she's gonna go on that tile as well. So now we've provided service, we've invited our guests, and that means the next step is to enjoy favors, which is the best part. So in this case, for our favors, we're gonna get 300 pounds from our event. We're gonna get 100 pounds from our pal, Reginald. Don't tithe it, give it to your friends. And then we're also getting 100 pounds from the assistance of this Lady Mary Russell, who's stunning and refined. The Lady Mary Russell is also gonna increase our reputation by 1, so we're gonna move this marker. Basically, once we hit the 1 again, we'll flip it and hit level 2 for our reputation. So those are the favors that we got to enjoy. These guys are gonna go to discard. These servants are gonna go into expended service, and we're gonna flip Bowling Green over to its improved side, whoop, and put it over here. So now that tile that was worth -3 VP is now worth +2, and we can continue to use the Bowling Green to get money. But probably we're gonna wanna get new tiles and keep improving those. So now that we've done all that, we're allowed to buy something off the market. I have 600 pounds, and let's see if there's anything that I'd like to purchase. Well, I can't use it just yet, but I think I might grab this croquet field because it's got a huge discount on it. It's like -200 pounds. Let's see what happens if you improve it. So if you improve it, it becomes worth more money and 3 VP. I might grab this croquet field, especially because it's 300 minus 200, which means I can buy it for 100 pounds right now. And you know, my family's kind of poor. I'm gonna be a cheapskate. Let's grab it. So we're gonna take this croquet field and we're gonna put it here. We can improve it, hopefully, at a future time. Let us hope. So now we're gonna scoot all this stuff down. Scoot, scoot, scoot. And we're gonna draw another tile. So let's see what we get this time. Ooh, lots of sporting stuff, but that is like way out of my league right now. A cricket field, good Lord. All right, and now the AI is gonna roll and we're gonna see what they're gonna buy. All right, so we rolled a 20, critical hit, no. So what that means is that we're going to refresh the entire market. So the way that refreshing works is that all of these tiles are taken off of the market. They're gonna go back in the bag, but you don't wanna draw them again during the refresh. The idea is to get different tiles. And we're gonna draw 6 new tiles, and they're gonna be put down in their prestige order. So let's just grab some tiles, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's a monument. Okay, so we got a lot of one color, which isn't the best in my opinion, but we'll deal with it. So the way this is gonna work is they're gonna be done in prestige order. So the one that's furthest to the right is gonna be the one with the highest prestige. So we're gonna have the 5. Service is the lowest, if I recall. Yeah, service is the lowest rank. So these service ones will just kind of go down here. And then we're gonna have the Queen's Suite, which can turn into a monument. The estate. So we got 2 flower rooms basically came out. There's, I think, only 2 in the bag. So we got a servant's hall, a brushing room, the flower room, the Queen's Suite, and the West Terrace. So we have a whole new set of stuff to deal with. And actually I should switch these because the brushing room is considered less prestigious, which is why it's got that -200 thing on it. I kind of want both of these, so let's hope that I can get them. That would be great. So now we're ready for another turn. So let's think about what we might want to do. I have these 2 fine ladies, so I can either do maybe afternoon tea, which is gonna get me another guest card. So I need some cards or else I'm gonna have to pass. So I think what I may end up doing is I could do 2 ladies and go for the prestige bonus, like the reputation bonus. But I think what I'm actually gonna do is we're gonna roll with afternoon tea so that we can get another card. Well, I don't know, I can't really use a 2 prestige person without the reputation. Okay, we're gonna go to the front parlor. We're gonna do some whist with 2 fine ladies from the Ponsonby family. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna choose our event. We are going to invite our guests, which are the only 2 cards we have left, sadly. We are going to, they don't need any extra servants, so we're gonna have our housekeeper come with us for whist in the front parlor. And we are going to enjoy favors. And what that's gonna mean is that in this case, so I don't need to dismiss any guests right now. So what the mom's gonna let me do is she is going to let me draw 2 casual guests and keep 1. So let's see which one we might wanna keep. All right, so the way this is gonna work is we're gonna draw 2 and keep 1 for her. Oof, that's not good. Okay, so we are not gonna take her. Miss Agnes Harpstead. The spinster Miss Harpstead has led a tragic life, but is beloved for her lively mind. Yeah, no, we're not going with that. She doesn't need a servant, but she gives us negative victory points and costs us money. Let's skip that. We're gonna go with the Lady Elise Gilmore. She's a little bit above our station right now, but we're gonna be in good shape. Actually, the village, I should have moved this forward this time. The village fair is going on, which means that we're gonna get 300 pounds for that. And our reputation went up 2 in the community already, and our reputation is about to get a bump from this game of whist. So we're gonna definitely take the Lady Elise Gilmore. When we play her, she'll boost our reputation even more. So we're gonna keep her. And then our not quite friend, Miss Agnes, is gonna go to the bottom of this pile. And then Lady Margaret Carlo is going to give us 2, not 2 things. We don't get any reputation from her because she'd have to be the fancy gentleman for the reputation to happen, but she does get us another casual friend. So let's draw a card and see who we get. And these guys will go to the discard. So we're gonna draw, Sir Richard Brenna. So he is regarded as an elite horseman, and he always travels with his own man. So he doesn't actually use up our servants, which is pretty great. And he gets us a reputation and another guest. He's prestige 2, so I'm glad that we're about to hit another like reputation level because otherwise we wouldn't be able to use him very much. So we got our new friends, and we get 3 reputation, woohoo, from having our fancy little game of whist. So our reputation is now up to 2, which widens the range of guests we can invite to things and the kinds of improvement tiles that we can actually use. Oh, by the way, I'm an idiot. This guy came back into available service. These servants are in the servants' quarters, and our lady is gonna go here. So this front parlor has now been improved. It's going to come over here. It is now casino, and it's worth 2 prestige points. So, I mean 2 victory points. So that is good. We're in good shape at this moment. So now we get to buy off of the market. I have some good money right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds. Ooh. So here's the thing. What do I want? So I think what I'm gonna do is, even though this footman ability is super cheap, ooh, I really want this Servants' Hall because it has a rumor mill, and I can just, it says may steal 1 reputation from 1 opponent during each turn, but because there is no like opponent to steal reputation from, it basically just becomes a reputation bonus at the beginning of each turn. And I would like that passive ability. So we're gonna go ahead and pay out our incredibly huge amount of money, 600 pounds, to get this, because I just think it's worth it. So here is our service. We now have the rumor mill, and I'm gonna get a reminder token. So I'm gonna put a reminder token here to remind me that at the beginning of each turn, my reputation is going to go up by 1 just because it does, which is fantastic. So this upcoming round, however, actually we should slide everything down and do the AI. So let's draw a fresh tile, hopefully not one that is pink, something new. Oh, and these go back in. So now we've drawn the Cabinet of Curiosities. It's expensive, but it sure does get you a lot of reputation, dang. Okay, so now let's see what the AI is going to take this time. Let's roll that die. Okay, so they rolled a 7. That means they're gonna take the card from position 2. So one of the flower rooms is now out of the game. And then everything will slide down one more time. And we'll draw another tile out. Ooh, the fancy stuff's coming out. The cricket field. So now it's time for Courtship Round. Boop. We're gonna see if we've managed to attract the attention of our attractive neighbor Fairchilds. So we're gonna draw one of these theme cards and we're gonna flip it and see what category they prioritized. So based on that category, either the AI is gonna score higher in this season or I'm gonna score higher, and it just depends on what they prefer. So I've got these guys beat in service and sporting because I have only a 1, but that's still better than -3. We're tied here, and they got me beat on the estate. So let's see what ends up happening. Oh, sporting. Okay, so sporting is the card. That means that I win this courtship. Awesome. So the reward that I'm gonna get for that is I'm gonna get 1 VP card. So let's see what it is. So I get 4 VP, or I can draw some new objective cards, try to score that way, but I'm probably just gonna keep this card. And then I'm also going to get to choose one of these cards because one of the Fairchild children is gonna come and visit me and hang out and like flirt with my kids for the next season until another courtship round should occur. So I'm actually gonna go for Elizabeth Fairchild because she gives you both a new guest and some reputation, whereas Charles just gives you a bunch of reputation. So I'm gonna go with Elizabeth this time. Also note, see this 8 in the top right corner? That's the number of victory points this card is worth at the end of the game. It's good to win the hearts of the fair children. So that is where I'm going to stop this video in the interest of saving time. But Obsession is a really fun game. I really like it. It's in fact grown on me since I initially reviewed it. And if you are interested in a game with an interesting solo mode and that has a really fun theme with great flavor text, then I think this one's a great option. Happy gaming!